Hey, 42 here. In a world built upon trade and commerce, we assign value to items, locations, and experiences in our lives via their monetary cost, which can be affected in any number of ways, supply and demand for instance, not to mention rarity. In other words, the more valuable we consider something to be, the more we are willing to pay for it. And if you have a lot of money to throw around, there are plenty of ways to flex your wealth for yourself or for others if you just know where to look. To get you started, let's check out 9 of the most expensive things in the world. We start with the world's most expensive car, the 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO. A classic car enthusiast's dream come true. A gorgeous 2-seater with plenty of horsepower thanks to the 3-litre V12 engine rumbling beneath the hood. It's going to get you where you're going with all the style and poise that's made Ferrari famous before you can say speeding ticket. Though it makes a bold statement on the motorways, its origins lie in secrecy, behind closed doors. In 1961, after learning of the shiny new GT that Jaguar had introduced to the racing world, Enzo Ferrari tasked one of his top engineers with Ferrari's response. The engineer Giotto Bizzarini assembled a small group of dependable men and set to work, drawing up schematics for what would become the 250 GTO. After several months of grueling work, it was to be faster, lighter and more powerful than the flagship Ferraris of the time. And much to Enzo's relief, early tests showed that Bizzarini's design passed with flying colours. One model custom made for the famous British race car driver Stirling Moss recently sold for just over $38 million at auction, setting a world record for the most money to ever exchange hands in the sale of a car. Though this particular car has seen a great deal of wear and tear, having been raced, crashed and repaired many times over its lifetime, this firecracker of a Ferrari saw bidding begin at no less than $11 million before reaching the historic record of $38 million. For true car enthusiasts, every car has a story, age and dents included. Holding the keys to your own little portion of car racing history is certainly a priceless experience. When it comes to jewellery, diamonds are the gem of choice to set in rings, necklaces and earrings. Of the diamond family, the type best known by the public is the relatively common white diamond. But diamonds actually come in a wide variety of colours, and not all the colours are synthetically produced. Among the crowd favourite gemstones, authentic pink diamonds are the rarest and most valuable of them all. So it should come as no surprise that the monstrous 59.6 carat pink star diamond is currently the most expensive gemstone in the world. The pink star went to auction in 2014, prompting diamond cutter Isaac Wolf to place a bid for a remarkable $83.2 million, shutting out all rival bidders in the process. He even renamed the gem to the Pink Dream while the bid was in progress, seemingly ready to make his own dreams come true. But in the end, it seems he may have only been interested in the prestige that comes with making such an offer, as he never actually finalised payment for the gem. Of course, dealing in such vast amounts of money is often a grand dance between would-be buyers and the investors backing them. Perhaps there is a bit of a mix-up at the bank. You've got to be careful counting so many zeros. After Isaac defaulted on payment for the gem, it was placed back in the care of Sotheby's, the world leader in luxury items and auctions. For now, it remains in their possession, revalued at a more affordable $72 million, though that is hardly the upper limit due to the rarity and unusual size of the gem. At that price, it's simply a steal. Best to purchase it before it goes back to auction. Our homes serve many purposes. They are our castles, our sanctums, our refuges from the hustle and bustle of the outside world. So it's no small wonder that our homes say a lot about who we are and what we value the most. For billionaire Mukesh Ambani, the wealthiest man in India, his home represents his vast wealth, and it's appropriately awesome in execution. He named the towering spire Antilia after a mysterious and possibly mythological island in the Atlantic Ocean. Clearly, Mukesh is not one for subtlety. The $1 billion home looks every bit as legendary as its namesake and bears the unique honour of being the most expensive home in the world. Antillia has a total of 27 stories, 6 of which are comprised of a subterranean parking garage, 1 floor which is devoted entirely to health and wellness, 4 floors of lavish open-air gardens, 1 for a cinema, of course, 6 residential floors for guests and family, and 3 floors set aside strictly for maintenance purposes to keep everything running smoothly. And of course, no billionaire chateau would be complete without its very own dedicated staff. Nearly 600 people see to every nook and cranny of this monolithic dream home. The expenses might seem staggering. Just imagine his monthly utility bills. But for a man with a net worth of over $27 billion, the effect such a home has on his wallet is probably no more than a drop in the ocean. The whole building is reinforced against a variety of disasters, both natural and potentially malicious in nature. Antillia is built to stand tall in the face of magnitude 8 earthquakes, and can even withstand military-grade explosions. But, all things considered, Mr. Ambani's magnificent domicile only cost an estimated $77 million to build. Yep, that's a $923 million return on investment. Though he shows no indication that he would be interested in selling, for now it looks like if you want your very own tower of extravagance, you're gonna have to rustle up $77 million and build your own. Hollywood is no stranger to multi-million-dollar productions, but every few years, a special sort of film comes along that ups the ante. The Pirates of the Caribbean films were smash hits at the box office. So for the ongoing adventures of the swashbuckling Captain Jack Sparrow, it's hardly a surprise that Disney spared no expense. The 4th film in the series, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, managed to rack up an impressive $410.6 million in costs before adjustment for tax credits and other assistance, making it the most expensive production in cinema to date. Cameras rolled in exotic locales across the globe to set all manner of piratical excitement to celluloid film, even filming some scenes in jolly old England. In addition to being a fantastic country all round, it's likely that the producers were interested in the British tax credit offered to films costing more than $34.1 million. Just one of the many ways Disney executives sought to soften the blow of the bottom line. Disney banked a lot on the captain and his crew, and luckily for the House of Mouse their gamble paid off. Worldwide takes for the film sailed straight past the $1 billion mark as the captain and his crew made their way to greener waters. I'm no mathematician, but that sounds like a resounding financial success to me. With a 5th film on the horizon, will the pirates be able to plunder the box office again? I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. Occasionally, we put our collective funds towards the betterment of all mankind. The International Space Station, sitting in low Earth orbit, 330 kilometers above the surface of our planet, represents the combined resources and ingenuity of 5 major space agencies across the world. The total cost of $100 billion has been shared among all nations contributing to the project since its inception, making it the most expensive man-made object we have today. The purpose of the ISS is to provide a semi-permanent orbital lab where humankind can perform scientific experiments that take advantage of the unique interactions of gravity, temperature, and pressure in space, performing many tests which would be simply impossible otherwise. Astronauts also have the privilege of testing cutting-edge industrial materials and innovative communications technology, as well as gathering data for medical research on the side. Despite what you might think, it isn't all floaty fun and games in space. There's actually an awful lot of work that gets done. The ISS was granted a recent extension of its life cycle. Now projected to last through to 2024, it certainly pays to look to the future when dealing with space. Long term, the Russian Roscosmos and US-based NASA are drawing up plans for a new station to be constructed after the ISS reaches its end of life. What comes after that is anyone's guess. But if Star Trek has taught us anything, it's that one of humanity's noblest aspirations is to boldly go where no one has gone before, and then make friends with aliens. Regardless of the cost we assign to them, books are one of the most valuable commodities we have. They provide the opportunity to reach across time and space, sharing information, concepts, and ideas with others of our time and generations yet to come. Of all of the influential figures throughout history whose thoughts might be worth reading, the great Leonardo da Vinci would doubtlessly rank quite highly. One of his compiled manuscripts, the Codex Leicester, sold at auction in 1994 to Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates for over $30 million, the greatest amount of money to ever change hands in the sale of a book. Also known as the Codex Hammer after the previous owner of the manuscript, the Codex Leicester was written by Da Vinci over a period of time between 1506 and 1530. It is an unusual work for the renowned inventor and artist due to the compilation's laser focus on a single topic, the study of water. Among the pages are sheets of calculations and musings on everything from water currents and whirlpools to practical uses for water in structures like canals, locks and dams. Admittedly a bit of a fanboy, Mr. Gates finds value in the work of Da Vinci because, quote unquote, he personally worked out science on his own, also noting that every one of Da Vinci's notebooks are amazing documents. They're kind of his rough draft notes of text that he eventually wanted to put together. So save your doodles and scraps because someday a billionaire might be willing to pay top dollar for them. When you consider that water is essential for human life, it seems rather difficult to put a price on it. Of course, water is a common paid utility in many countries, and people can also enjoy it by the bottle for convenience. But the existential question always remains. The California-based Beverly Hills Drink Company seems to have made peace with the issue, going so far as to offer the self-proclaimed most expensive bottle of water in the world for an affordable $100,000. Only 9 bottles of their luxury collection Diamond Edition bottles were made, rendering the experience as exclusive as you might expect. The bottles were designed by jeweler Mario Padilla to be the perfect complement to the unique thirst quenching experience. Each one sealed with a cap made of white gold, set with over 600 white diamonds and 250 black diamonds for a total of 14 carats worth of gems. A special case filled with 4 engraved baccarat crystal tumblers completes the package, and it's all accompanied by a personal private water tasting presentation anywhere in the world by water sommelier, yes that's actually a job, Martin Rees. Whatever you have a passion for, there's a way to make a living doing it, even if that passion is water tasting. After a taste test of the $100,000 water by American musicians 2 Chainz and Diplo, they reported that the water tastes like fruit. Despite their self-proclaimed acquired expensive taste, after the tasting, 2 Chainz sagely noted that if you put a diamond on something, they're going to run up the tab on you. And that neither one of us believe that we should pay $100,000 for a bottle of water. But if you choose to investigate the diamond collection for yourself, be sure to take advantage of the 1-year supply of free water refills. Make the most of that diamond encrusted bottle. Very few artists are lucky enough to see their work appreciated on a grand scale, and 19th century painter Paul Gauguin is no exception. It would certainly come as a surprise to him that one of his works would eventually become the priciest painting in the world, fetching $300 million in a secretive auction over a century after he first set colour to canvas. The painting, entitled When Will You Marry?, depicts a snapshot of the Tahitian life in the late 1800s and was the result of Gauguin's sabbatical on the Polynesian island in search of quote unquote an Edenic paradise to inspire pure, primitive art. It was sold by a Swiss private collector in February of 2015 to an enigmatic buyer who chose not to reveal their identity publicly during the sale. Rudolf Zacherl, a former executive with the luxury auction house Sotheby's, confirmed the sale, which was made via his family trust, with the Gauguin being only one of at least 20 other magnificent works of art in his possession from the Impressionist and Post-Impressionist era. He seemingly suffered from a rare case of having so much priceless artwork that he truly didn't know what to do with it all. Before the auction, Zacherl had been loaning When Will You Marry? to the Kunstmuseum in Switzerland, along with other pieces of art from his private collection. When asked what prompted the sale, he replied quite simply that we got a good offer. Unfortunately for the Swiss museum curators, they will have to hope for another philanthropic donation to fill a newly emptied exhibit. Smartphones have become an integral part of our cultural identity. Equal parts tools and status symbols, the brands we choose and the accessories we decorate them with can reveal quite a lot about a person. One Chinese businessman decided that the options available at his local electronics store simply didn't cut it for him. So what did he do? Why, customize an iPhone 5 with a 26-carat black diamond and a body made of gold, of course. And all told, it cost a staggering $15.3 million, the most expensive smartphone out there today. The phone was the result of a request sent to the UK-based craftsman Stuart Hughes, who specialises in high-end luxury smartphones. It took 9 weeks to assemble and includes 135 grams of 24-carat gold and 653 diamonds in the design. The giant black diamond at the heart of it all, seated where the home button normally sits, was a family heirloom passed down through the anonymous businessman's family for generations. Rather than build a display case for it to set up on the mantle, he chose to use it as his daily phone, giving him the opportunity to show it off at every corporate meeting and business lunch. Before the black diamond iPhone crossed his desk, Hughes had worked up an iPhone 4S made of gold that was valued at £6 million British pounds. It held the world record for the most expensive smartphone only briefly before this one came along and smashed that record to pieces. Whether the black diamond iPhone will be a decision that the businessman comes to regret, who can say? But if there's one thing for certain, it's that a good smartphone is indeed worth its weight in gold. Thanks for the view, subscribe for more. 42.